Hey guys, what's going on? Wanted to talk to you about 6 reasons why it sucks to be a Lyft driver. Yes, Uber is very much an immoral and shady company, but I'm here to talk to you about why Lyft also has its dark side. First thing would be the acceptance rate, which is when you're not accepting a certain percentage of your rides, you get dinged. As an independent contractor, Lyft, we have the right to choose, or should have the right to choose, whether or not we want to accept a ride. So it's very improper and incorrect, since we're not your employees, to ding us and possibly like deactivate us or say, hey, your acceptance rate is too low, your acceptance rate is too low, and kick us out of the system for like 20 minutes or whatever, just because we don't want to take a certain ride. There may be a reason for it. Number one, it could be a long ride, or number two, it could be far away. There's a number of reasons. Maybe we're almost done with our shift and we're just about to clock offline, and we don't want that ride. It's not right for you to possibly risk deactivating us, because I got to the point where I was constantly seeing that little orange bar at the bottom. Your acceptance rate is too low. Your acceptance rate is too low. Your acceptance rate is too low. And then at one point where I get a little message saying, oh, if you continue with your low acceptance rate, you may risk deactivation. Seriously? You cannot dictate whether I want to take a ride or not, because it's my car using my miles and gas. So I should be able to decide which ride I want to take on for the amount of money that I'm going to receive. It's ultimately my decision whether or not I want to take that specific job, because I'm an independent contractor. So Lyft, that's second thing would be the prime time zone flakiness. So there's obviously, you have those pink zones where when you go, you can receive rides that are 25% more pay, 50% more pay, 100% more pay, even up to 400%. I'm not sure if it goes higher than that, but I've at one point received 400% pay. So the part that I'm talking about as far as flakiness is you're in a pink prime time zone. Specifically, you're there, I'm there, expecting to receive prime time zone rates. That's why I drove in there. That's why I'm in that zone, is so that I can get the higher rate, obviously. So I'm in there, and then at the end of the ride, I see, oh, I was sitting there in that pink zone, but this was a regular rate ride. Where is my plus 50%, my plus 100% that I saw there on a Friday night that I was expecting to get? And then I call in, and your excuse is always, oh, well, those zones change by the minute. The maps, the highlights on the maps, they update every minute. So it could be that at the time that you received that ride request, that it was just not prime time zone. Well, you, come on. It's Friday night. I'm downtown. That is prime time and prime time area, downtown LA. So it's ridiculous that you flake on that. It's like, oh, no, that zone was not actually a pink primetime zone. Come on. That's just stupid and crappy on your part. Number three would be your robotic machine emails. I know there was one where I was warned from touching a female passenger. So I remember the incident. I remember having a car full of women, and one of them was sitting up front, and this was when I was very new. And me, I'm generally a pretty gregarious, outgoing dude. A lot more so when I started, because I wasn't quite as jaded from rude customers and my experience with Lyft. But anyways, I was very friendly. And at one point, I think I cracked a joke or something like that, and then gently gave her like a nudge with my elbow. Not even like my hand. I didn't touch her with my fingers. I didn't touch her leg or her, chest or anything like that. I didn't touch her boob. All I did was just kind of give her a nudge playfully, and then apparently it wasn't her who made the complaint, because she's not the one who requested the ride. It was her friend, who I noticed seemed to be a lot less kind of friendly and responsive to my conversation. It was just kind of had more of a stern, serious expression on her face, where she was just a lot less friendly. And she's the one who requested the ride. So obviously she would be the one who made that complaint. And what happened was, she wrote a comment on there that said, please do not touch the female passengers. Now, how do you think that's perceived? Please do not touch the female passengers. I'm a guy, and there's this beautiful girl sitting next to me, and you're saying, please do not touch the female passengers. So as Lyft, reading that from customer support, what do you think they think? They're probably thinking that I grabbed her leg, her thigh, maybe like grabbed her boob or something like that, because you put specifically, please do not touch female passengers. So that's the side of the customer. The reason why that's a problem, and here's where Lyft is really crappy, is number one, they don't know specifically what I did. They're assuming the worst, obviously because of what the customer stated. But the problem is the email that was sent to me, instead of, hey, you know what, we noticed there might have been like some kind of a confusion with a customer, and we just wanted to clear the air with you and find out what's going on and see if we can figure out, what happened and what you can do differently. We noticed you're doing a great job. You have a great rating so far, and you've given a certain number of rides. Thank you for, doing a good job so far. No, nothing like that. It was a machine email from some guy named Agent Smith. Are you from Matrix? Really, dude? So Agent Smith sent me an email saying something along the lines of, we recently received communication that you touched a passenger without asking permission. We take these matters very seriously here at Lyft. Blah, 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 blah. We will be currently suspending you while we investigate this matter. So I'm suspended for a week. Finally, like a week later, he messages me back after I had sent him a message saying apology and say, hey, can you just send an apology to the customer on my behalf? I'm not sure exactly what I did to bother her or offend her. Can you do that? And then he messaged me back like a few days later. Oh, we appreciate that. We will go ahead. We have decided to reactivate you, but please do not do this behavior again, as it may result in your final deactivation. So I was like, I had never done anything wrong before that point. I had been driving for a little while, had a 5-star rating, and this is what they send me. Like, the first thing they get from me is like the first little knock from a customer, which is totally like misinterpreted, obviously based on the wording, and that's what they send me. Instead of talking to me like, hey, we noticed you, blah, 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 something nicer, like more like on a personal human being level, to, from Lyft, who's supposed to be the friendly company with the mustache. Oh, your buddy driving you, your friend with a car, whatever it was, their slogan at the beginning. Next thing would be receiving the regular rate requests while I'm sitting inside of a pink zone. I touched on that a little bit as far as the prime time zone flakiness and number 2. But does it make sense that you're sending me these rides? And this one's after you changed it back to where we could see up front if it was a higher percentage ride or not. So once that feature was re-added, I'm able to see. And you're sending me these rides while I'm sitting in a pink zone that don't have the plus 50%, plus 100%. Why are you sending me those if I'm in the pink zone? Why would I want those? I drove into the pink zone so that I could get the higher ride, so I could get more for my mileage, more for my gas, and pay a little bit better, because it's really low pay as it is. These fares are incredibly cheap, and if I'm out there on a Friday night with a bunch of drunk people and crazy people, or like, nut jobs or crackheads, I deserve that extra rate, especially if I'm sitting in that zone. So don't bother sending me regular rate ride requests if I'm sitting in that zone. That's not why I'm sitting there. I'm in there to get the higher rate. So it's stupid that you send me the regular rate ride requests and then, again, ding me on my acceptance rate. Next one would be, people canceling when I'm almost at their destination. This would be less than 5 minutes, but still over 3. So if they cancel under 5 minutes, we don't get the cancellation fee rate of cancellation. We don't get the cancellation fee of $5. But if it's over 3, but still over. So if it's over 3 minutes, they don't pay the fee. If it's over 5, then they pay the fee. So anywhere between 3 and 5 minutes, even if it's 4 minutes and a half, and they're canceling when I'm almost there, it's like I just wasted 4.5 minutes of my time, whatever miles I drove there in gas, for nothing. I get nothing for driving to that destination when I was sitting in a hot spot to get ride requests so that I could get a ride and make money, and now you just wasted my time in gas, and I get nothing for 4.5 minutes. And that's a stupid amount of time to not be paid at the rates that Lyft charges, that Uber charges. You guys, passengers, if any of you are watching this, no offense, but this is like from the driver perspective. If you knew how it was to be a driver, or how much we really make, or that maybe some of you don't realize that we pay for our own gas and that Lyft doesn't reimburse us for that. So because of that and how cheap these rides are, you should be sitting outside waiting for us. When we get there, boom, hop in, and then we go. The exception, of course, would be, yes, if you're like a smoking hot girl and you're dressed out to go to the club, you've got everything, boom, you're like selling yourself. No, don't wait outside. Please do not. In that instance, yes, I would say if you live in a house, you're at a house, yeah, wait inside the house. But if you're in an apartment building, at least wait in the lobby. Don't be waiting in your apartment. Be ready, be waiting in the lobby, so as soon as I pull up, you can come out safely and get into my car. I don't expect you to be sitting outside if you're dressed to the nines. At the very least, be waiting at the front, so as soon as I pop in, I'm waiting no more than a minute, because I don't get paid while I'm waiting, as I mentioned in the video where I talk about the 6 reasons why it sucks to be an Uber driver. So that's ridiculous, having to wait, 3 minutes sitting there, and then you just cancel it while I'm sitting there, and I get nothing, right? Last one would be the power driver bonus year of the car from Lyft. Before, any driver could get the power driver bonus if they worked, I believe it was like 30 hours, and then you get a certain amount, you get like a 10% more, and then if it was like 50 hours, you get 20% more pay. So basically, you would not have to pay a commission, you get the full ride fare. And then they changed it to where it was, shortly before they changed the year of the car requirement, to where it was, no, it's just a certain number of rides. I believe it was like minimum 45 rides, you get the extra 10%, and like 80 rides, don't quote me on that, could be 70, 75, you would get to keep all of the fare, and it would be no commission at all taken from you. The problem was, shortly after that, which I like that program better, was the year of the car. So my car is a 2009 car, but I'm doing the same job as a 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. We're still picking up a customer, taking them somewhere, spending the same amount of gas, unless, that car is like a gas hog. But if it's a sedan as well, it's going to be spending the same amount of gas, a 4-cylinder engine. My car is clean. We have to keep our cars clean, inside and outside. And I'm giving, the same service. I'm offering water, or I'm offering gum, whatever, as the person who is driving the newer car. What does it matter? Why should I not be entitled, if I'm doing the same thing, spending the same amount of time and giving the same service to the customer, taking them from A to B, should I not receive the same bonus for giving the same amount of rides as the other car, as a car that's newer? It's just absolute. It doesn't even make sense. And that's another thing that has pissed me off about Lyft. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this information helpful, whether you're a passenger or driver. I'm sure you got something out of it. Share the video, like the video, and if you did like the video, please subscribe. I will be doing more videos like this in the future as far as on-demand services.